Today is August 27th, 2023. I was at church today, and for the past many months, I was just, uh, I just slipped in and slipped out. Today, there was some sort of like attackiness. There was some sort of like, it felt like I was fully, fully, fully filled up in church. It felt like I was like the me, the essence of me just filled up the whole church inside. I could just it felt like that. It's weird. Um Today, uh these days see the thing is, these days I trade with very little money. And a good thing is that I've the good thing is that uh, I've successfully used stop losses for over a week. It's like an alcoholic, I think. I have never been an alcoholic. Okay. I'm allergic to alcohol. In fact, the first time I had alcohol, I was like, I must have been 9 years old. I was living in a farm, and in the farm, uh, the rice is harvested, and it requires a lot of people back then. Back then, there weren't any equipments, and so lots of people were used, and they were invited to help out, lend a hand to harvest the rice. So I was like 9 years old, I think, maybe 8 years old. So one of the beverages that they have is like this white, slightly alcohol-based drink, and I had a bowl, and I drank it. I passed out, and I woke up tonight, the evening. So I'm allergic to alcohol, and but so I stayed away from it. So I'm not an alcoholic. So where am I going with the story? So day trading without a stop loss is essentially falling back to the old habits of trading without a stop loss. Fortunately, I was able to gauge now. I am able to better gauge where the stop loss should be in order to maximize my trade based on the the ratio, the return to loss percentage that I have. So I'm generally going for approximately about 2 to 1, maybe 3 to 1, and that has been fairly successful at this point. So I would step back one, I would go two. I would step back one, I would go two. So I'm making forward progress with this stop loss. What is intriguing is that whenever I make a trade, now I think in terms of 10x. This guy named Grant Cardone made it very, very popular to use something called the 10x. So whenever my small count loses or gains, I multiply by 10 to see what the value is going to be when I get to the eventuality of the point where I have sufficiently large size in my capital, so that when I think of that 10x, what I think of right now with a small count is essentially a reflection of what I will be when that eventuality occurs. And at the same time, when I get to the point where that 10x is actually proven in the future tense, the future of the 10x, where I am here and I'm looking into 10x point, I'll get to here, I'll lower it, and the 10x from here is going to be here. And so I find it fascinating. I find it fascinating the small counts that I am trading back and forth, making small incremental changes that incremental progress that I'm making is allowing me to see my future as 10x. And so even on my FTMO trades, I look at it, I'm going, okay, so initially there's a 10K account, there's going to be a 100K account, which is essentially 10x of it. And so whatever I make on a daily basis, essentially I look at it from a perspective of 10x. And when I see that as 10x, and then once I achieve consistency within that small account, I know all I have to do is 10x it. That Grant Cardone is a genius. That mindset is always forward looking. Forward looking. This is fascinating.